It
Um,
does.
we already had a little morning sesh. Now we're doing a little afternoon delight rocket. We're just having ourselves a day.
We're having a
Well,
dog day.
the calls are already popping in. Let's talk business before we get into some baseball. Um, yeah, Dave does this sit down with Trump, and obviously it's making waves. And I am at the point where we used to say Barstool doesn't do politics, and now obviously we are towing like a hypocritical line with that. And I am at the point where, like, I'm only speaking for myself. I really think I'm going to commit to going back to everything non-political and non social commentary. And it's tough when the Black Lives Matter stuff popped off and George Floyd's murder happened. It was almost impossible not to talk about it. When things hit a fever pitch like that, I think you have to. And I think if you are, I said this many times during that whole wave where it was like we talk about what's prominent in the world and on the internet, and that's the only thing that was going on. So you couldn't not talk about it. But short of that, short of those situations where it would almost be disingenuous and like purposely ignorant to avoid topics like that. Other than that stuff, I'm just done with it, man. I can't do it anymore, and I don't want to speak for other people. I don't want to have to weigh in on other people's content. I don't want to have like feel compelled to speak about topics that I'm really not equipped to talk about, and B, I don't want to talk about anymore. I feel like we got to a point where Barstool got big enough and our own individual platforms grew large enough that we felt, or again, I'll speak for just myself, I felt that whole, you do some good with your platform, or you have too much potential with the amount of fans you have. You have to talk about these things. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to do
Mm-hmm.
anything anymore, and that's what I'm going back to. I am gonna do my content. I'm gonna talk about the things I want to talk about, and again, short of any situation where it's almost absolutely necessary to talk about it, I'm just not doing it anymore. I mean, I was happy and proud of what I wrote about with George Floyd and the Black Lives Matter movement, but it's not doing any good. It's not changing the world. It didn't do a fucking thing. All it did was throw like me and my career into a world that I don't want to be in. Threw me into the deep end where I'm in over my head. And so when it comes to something like this, I mean, I I don't have any control or say over Dave's content, and he doesn't really have. I mean, I guess he does technically have control if he wanted to wield it over me, but he doesn't. Everybody kind of stays separate. I think the idea that I know that we're all under one umbrella and we're all under one company, and so I can understand the idea that you want to hear from each of us about the other's content or about what this person said or did, but I mean, why? At this point, why? When it was five of us, I got it. I understood it. It's now a company of like 200 people, 200 plus people, pushing like 300 people, almost like over 100 content members. I can't control that. I don't think anybody should have to like run their content by me, and I don't think I should have to speak on all their content. I don't know. Dave got an opportunity to talk to the president. He took it. I think that it was very bad timing. I think that the implications of it after everything that's have gone on, it's not good. But I also, I've never been offered to talk to the president, so he's gonna do his thing. I'm gonna do mine, and I don't really feel like I have to, and I definitely don't want to speak on it and get involved in it because it's just a fucking mess, man. I want to go back to, like when I used to enjoy doing this. It got to a point where, talking about things that are so heavy that I don't really know how to speak on, and I'm pissing these people off, and I'm not doing these people justice, and it's just like it's kind of Charles Barkley esque. Like I'm not a role model, man. Never wanted to be one. Never acted like I was gonna be one. Don't want to be one. Don't want to talk about it. don't feel like I should have to talk about it. If there are, on the flip side, it's like if Rocket goes and does a video that I think is funny or good or I disagree with, and I do want to talk about that or have an argument or a dialogue, I probably will do that. It's like in my mind, it's almost like a stand-up act every time you do a show. I want to talk about this. I want to joke about this. I don't want to talk about that, and I don't really feel like I have to anymore. I feel like I got to a point where I felt like I owed it to certain people or certain fans, and I just don't. I don't think I do, and it's not fun this way. I don't think it's entertaining for the fans, and I'm sure some people think that there's like a responsibility, and I just don't care. I don't want to do that. I don't feel responsible, and I think that there are other people who are more intelligent or better prepared or in different fields in different companies that they can talk about this shit. I mean, I felt like Dave doing it is like it's tough, almost in a similar way to what Tyler said to me when Tyler used to defend like Barstool about some of the racist jokes or the off-color commentary, and then he would defend us and say like no, it's not like that. I know them personally and all that shit. And then a video resurfaces and he's like, well, now I feel like an idiot, dude. Now like this is kind of like disproving everything I just said. I feel like I'm getting a taste of that. Like I spent the past few weeks or whatever defending Dave, defending Barstool, talking about the good things that we do and how we're not actually political, or we're not actually racist, we're not actually on this side or that side. And eventually it gets tough when it's like, do I believe that Dave is like some right wing political aficionado? No, but when you've had the run of decisions he's had the past like month, it's hard to defend. So I'm like, well, I'm not going to do that either. I don't want to talk about all this, but I'm also no longer going to go out on a limb and stick my neck out to defend like the company or defend Dave. I think we're at a point, I think it's big enough and it's been long enough where we can all just say it's not like a tiny little shop anymore of like a tight-knit like family. It's not that. It's not a big like friends and family happy bunch. It's just everybody's doing their own thing, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I certainly don't expect anybody to ask me permission, whether it's Dave or anyone else at Barstool. I don't think it's possible to be on board with every single thing, every single piece of content that someone at Barstool does. Like I said, it's fucking 200 people here. There's going to be things I like, things I don't like, things I agree with, things I don't agree with, and I don't want to have to. I don't think someone should have to ask me or run it by me. I would maybe like a heads up in this situation, like, yo, well, I'm about to do this interview with Donald Trump. Shit's about to go down. But I also don't think, Dave owes anybody that either. So I don't think I will be, commenting on everybody's shit that they do. If I think someone, I think it was a misstep and they shouldn't have done it, I'm like, who fucking cares? It's not my content. Nobody needs to hear that from me. And if it directly affects me, then you'll hear from me. Otherwise, I just don't want to talk about it, really. And I get where, some fans are going to feel, I think this is cool. Some fans are going to love this politically. Some fans are absolutely going to hate this politically. Some fans are probably going to think, like, wow, like, Barstool Sports and Dave Portnoy specifically made it into the White House. I've been reading this since newspapers. So, wow, that's cool. Other people are going to be like, this isn't exactly the presidential administration I would be, associating with. And I don't think it's impressive. And I don't think it's an honor. And I don't think he should have done it. And that's kind of how, that's kind of how it's going to go when you get involved with the political world. I don't take like offense to it. But I'm also not going to like defend it anymore either. Dave can do that. And the people involved in that sort of content can do that. But I think that there's too many people here to kind of worry about and have to speak on every single piece of content that comes out.
Yeah, I agree. And